Hello, everybody. We are continuing. I'm continuing my series of lectures and words that I give on a daily basis. So this week, I want to talk about the difference between people. What differentiates people from one another? Have you ever wondered why people are different? Have you wondered why Africans are different from Europeans? I'm not talking about the color of skin right now. I'm talking about different in attitudes, different in behaviors, different in reactions. Why do people behave differently? Why are people different? Why do people who come from the same culture or even the same family behave differently sometimes? Why are people different? You see, it is important that we know the difference of another. And we should know what makes us who we are. Unfortunately, most people do not really know why they are who they are. Many of us, we simply embrace ourselves automatically because we think, well, this is who I am and there's nothing I can do about it. I was born like this, maybe because my mother is like that, my father is like that, that's the way I am. But no, biology is not always the factor that is responsible for who we are. Parental heritage is not always responsible for who we are, because we have people who come from the same family with the same father and mother and yet are different. So what makes people different from each other? Why do people behave differently? Have you ever noticed that in a given situation, you expect a certain reaction, and some people will behave the very opposite. They will give the very opposite reaction to what you expect. So people react to different situations differently, and people react in different circumstances differently than you would have expected. So what differentiates people? Why are people different? Those are the questions that I would like to raise this week, because you must know what makes you different and why you are different from the others and why other people are different. What builds the difference in others? What are the qualities and what are the things that make people to be different from nation to the other, from culture to another, from family to family, and even from individual to another? So tomorrow, don't miss this class, and every day this week, we are going to be talking about what makes people different. Why are people different from each other? God bless you. Talk to you tomorrow and continue the topic. Bye. Hello, everybody. We are continuing this series of classes on why are people different? What makes people different from one another? What differentiates people from each other? Why are Africans different from Americans? Why are women different from men? Why are young different from old? Why are people from the same country behave differently in different circumstances? Well, the first point, and one of the reasons why people are different from each other, is because of the information they are exposed to. Information. The information people are exposed to in their lifetime decide who they are. So if you have a group of people that you give and you raise up hearing the same thing all their lives, you will discover that they become who they are. For example, I can give you an example. Like, I am a Nigerian. Have you ever met a Nigerian before? Have you ever seen a Nigerian before? Have you ever heard a Nigerian speak? Have you ever spoken to a Nigerian? Have you ever interacted with a Nigerian before? If you have, then you will discover something. You will discover that you could tell that this guy is probably from Nigeria. Number one, you see the temperament of a Nigerian in him. Number two, you hear the accent of a Nigerian. So why do most Nigerians speak the same way? Well, the information we were exposed to while growing up. Because, everybody around you speaking that way, you automatically catch it. You begin to speak just like people around you speak. So the information we are exposed to decide who we are in life. And why are Nigerians aggressive? Well, I will tell you, Nigerians are aggressive because Everybody around is aggressive, They strive for life and for living. The same thing could be said about people from America, for example. Why are Americans the way they are? It's because they grew up in that environment and they're exposed to that information. But on the other hand, if you see a Nigerian that, like myself, grew up in Nigeria but moved out of the country and is now living in Europe, you will see a slight difference in my accent, for example. Why do I speak a little bit different from those Nigerians based and groomed in Nigeria itself? Well, because the information I've been exposed to have altered me, my lifestyle, my value system, the information I was exposed to and the information I'm being exposed to now is different. So the new information is now influencing me to be different from those people who grew up in Nigeria. Well, we'll continue this topic tomorrow. God bless you. Hello, everybody. We'll keep on talking today about why people are different. What differentiates people from one another? Yesterday I spoke about Nigerians and the information that we're exposed to, the information that we grew up with is what makes us who we are. That's why Africans are different from Americans. That's why Nigerians are different from Kenyans. That's why Nigerians are different from Ghanaians. That's why Ghanaians are different from Ethiopians. That's why Ethiopians are different from South Africans, even though we're all Africans. The information they were exposed to makes them to be different. Well, today I'm going to be talking about another factor that is responsible for difference in people. That factor is the factor of principles. The principles upon which you base your decisions differentiates you from another people. For example, even when you have people who come from the same country, come from the same culture, and even come from the same family, yet they can be different. And the reason they can be different is because, like for example, let's say my family, there are some basic principles that we were groomed in our culture, in our family, in our town, in our village. Those principles guide my decision-making process. They guide my behavior, my attitude, my reactions. And people who come from a different background might have a different set of principles they base their decisions on. But even if we have the same base, the principle base, or the same set of principles, yet in different circumstances and different situations, even people with the same principles could still behave differently. Because I could base my judgment on this particular principle while you base your judgment on that particular principle. So the principles upon which we base our decisions make a difference, make us different from another. For example, if the Bible says, the same Bible says, tooth for tooth in the Old Testament, or tooth for tooth, and eye for an eye. But in the New Testament, the Bible talks about the principles of love and forgiveness, and that, if anybody slaps you, give on the right cheek, give the left one, and non-reciprocal attitude. That's a principle. So if, let's say, somebody comes and slaps me, and I am the person that believes in tooth for tooth, my reaction will be different from the person who believes that you should give the left cheek. So the principles upon which we base our decisions, the person who believes in tooth for tooth will slap the person back, but the person who believes in non-reciprocal attitude, like love, love, don't reciprocate, don't return, give the right cheek, it will not respond. It will not strike the other person back. Principles upon which we base our decisions make us different from other people. God bless. Hello, everybody. Good day, good morning. Another day of glory, another day of victory today. Well, this week we are talking about what differentiates people from people. Why are people different from each other? Why are people different? What differentiates people? Well, we've spoken about the factor of the information we exposed, the people are exposed to, the principles upon which they base their value, their decisions. But today, I'm going to talk about another factor that differentiates people, is the value system upon which they base their actions. The value systems upon which they base their actions. For example, if I am a Christian, I have a certain set of value systems. If I am a Buddhist, I have another set of value systems. If I am not even religious, but if I am born and bred in Russia, there are some value systems that I've been taught to consider when I take a decision or when I do something. And the same thing if I am from Western Europe, there are some other value systems that I've been exposed to, that I was taught to consider when I want to take a decision. So the value systems that we were raised by, the value system that guide us in our lives, decide who we are. For example, in America, there is a great division and dichotomy between the religious world, the evangelical world, and the secular world, and of course between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Why? Because of the value system. So the Democratic people believe that it doesn't your morality, that is the party does not have right to your morality. So the Democratic Party will not tell you if it is moral or not for you to do abortion. They want you to decide. Now, the Democratic Party, we don't want to interfere in your moral decisions in the sense of are you a gay or you are straight? They want you to decide. But on the other hand, the Democratic Party people believe that it is their moral obligation to provide for the poor, to provide for the single parents, and to help the people who cannot afford medical insurance or some things like that. But on the other hand, the Republican people, they have a different set of value system. They believe that no, your personal moral affects your public policies. And so if you are homosexual, they believe that's wrong. And they believe that if you are doing abortion, that is killing other people. So, and also, they don't believe too much in giving medical insurance to the poor, or catering or taking care of single mothers, because they emphasize responsibility. So, value systems make us different from each other. God bless. Hello everybody, we're continuing this week that we are discovering what is the difference between people. What differentiates people from one another? Why are people different? Why are people from the same family behave differently? Why are people from the same country behave differently? Why is it that you can get along with some people, but you cannot get along with some others? Well, we have spoken about the information that we're exposed to. We have spoken about the principles upon which we base our decisions. We have spoken about the value system that guide our actions. We have also, but today I want to talk about another factor that affects individuals and that formulate who we are. What are the things that make us different? What are the things that create us into who we are? Why am I the way I am? What made me into who I am? Of course, a lot of factors are responsible for that, but one major factor is of difference in people are the people they have decided to trust. People or information, the people who have decided to trust. For example, I have decided to put my trust in God, in the Lord Jesus Christ. You think that will affect who I am? Oh yeah, definitely. Well, if another person from my family decides to believe in the traditional religion, African religion, You think that's going to affect their worldview? Oh yeah, it's going to affect them. For example, when I was growing up, my uncles and my brothers and my family kept on telling me, the most important thing in life as a young man is for you to study well, be the best in your education. But what you do other than that is your business. You can, have girlfriends and, just go to parties and discotheque. Morals don't matter as long as you are brilliant. Well, I believed them until I discovered that, lack of morality was killing me. And lack of morality was going to affect my education as well. So I believed my brothers, and because I decided to trust them, I behaved like them, and I was ruining my life at the point. But at the stage in my life when, because of some other situations and circumstances, I was forced to put my trust in another person. Who was this other man? The pastor that I heard and I listened to on TV that said every sin is disastrous. It could take you to hell. That person, that when I decided to believe in the message that person carries, when I decided to follow that person, my life path, my life decisions changed, and I became who I am today, a Christian and a pastor. Who we decide to believe affect who we eventually are in life. God bless. Hello everybody, we continue this week talking about why are you different from your neighbor? Why are you different from your wife? Why are you different from your brother? Why are you different from people you work with? Why are people different? What differentiates people from one another? Well, we've spoken about several factors this week. One of the other factors that I want to talk about, why we are different from other people, is the people, a person is different from the other because of the weakness or weaknesses they are willing to fight and overcome. Or because of the weaknesses they are unwilling to fight and overcome. For example, when I came over to Russia to study with several other young people from Africa, we were told that we needed to study Russian language. Imagine, we grew up in an African country where we grew up speaking our African languages, and later on we ended up speaking English. Well, we didn't know a word of Russian. And here we come, and we were told that we needed to stop speaking English, stop speaking our African language, and we need to begin to learn to speak Russian. And we needed a year for that. And after that, we go to university to compete with the Russians and study not on the high school level or primary school level, but the university level. Well, you know what happened? A lot of us needed to overcome our laziness. We needed to overcome our weaknesses. We needed to fight pleasure and comfort, and we needed to discipline ourselves. You know what happened? Some were willing to do that, to fight their weaknesses, to overcome themselves, to bend themselves, to learn the language, and to get their education. But some others were so scared that they decided to leave the country. Some went back to Africa, some went to Europe, some went to America. But today, apart from speaking English, apart from speaking the African language, I can speak Russian. I can understand Russian. I can speak Russian. But those who left, they had their chance, but they blew it. The price you are willing to pay in life decides what quality of person you become. Some people are unwilling to fight their weaknesses. That's why you see people smoking, even though they know it could end up in them getting cancer of the lungs, but they are unwilling to fight their weaknesses. That's why they are who they are. Well, some people drink, some people sleep about. Who you are is dependent on your willingness to fight or to tolerate your weakness. That's why people are different from one another. God bless. Hello, everybody. Well, another day of grace, another day of blessing. Today is the final day this week, and I'm talking to you about what differentiates you from the other person. Why are you different from your neighbor? Why do you talk differently? Huh? Why do you do what you do? Why is it that you don't do what your neighbor does? Why are you different from your workers at work? One major factor why we are different from other people around us is because of the environment that we grow up in, the environment we surround ourselves with. So, if you spend most of your time with people who curse and abuse and speak foul language, you will discover that you begin to do the same thing. Yeah. If you spend most of your time in the environment or in the circles of friends that like to study and are diligent and are hardworking and ambitious, you know what? You will discover that you want to do something with your life. That's why we have schools. That's why we don't have everybody just stay at home and go to school at home in their own homes. But the environment that the school creates, the environment of competition, the environment of experience, exchanging experiences. Well, sometimes it could be detrimental, but sometimes it could be challenging and spur us to something that more than we thought we could do. Environment creates who we are. We become what we see, what we hear. We become what we continuously think about. So, environment decides. Your environment decides how you behave. There is a scripture in the Bible that says, bad company destroys or corrupts good manners. So you could have a good manner from your house, from your home. You could have good character. But if you find yourself in a negative environment, or if you spend most of your time in the circle of friends that have the opposing weaknesses of character, even though you have good manners initially, but those manners will be corrupt. They will be spoiled and destroyed by the overwhelming influence of the reality that where you spend most of your time. So, why are we different? Why are you the way you are? That's what we spoke about this week. You want to hear some of the other points? Go back from Monday to today, and you'll be able to get all the points why people are different from each other. God bless.